Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all and doing well. At least we see the floods have ceased for a moment. We don't know for how long. So today is day 18 of March, and we'll be looking at Proverbs 18. Hi, my name is Wanjiko Murigi, a counseling psychologist, qualified, certified, all the fied in Nairobi, Kenya. And we are marching through the month of March as we look at what the book of Proverbs says about narcissistic, abusive, toxic partners. Yesterday we spoke about the dam. I hope you remember. So today the question is, we are very lenient people. And today I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we are asking, how comes the good girls never get the good boys? They end up being with the worst human beings. Like, especially, not all of them, but like when we were talking, it is like many end up being. Lakini, however, wale mademu wamekuwa warui. Like those ones who have been on the streets, like those ones where they've spoiled, wameban, those ones who've banned, end up really settling with some really nice guys. And I've said it's not in every case, but when we look at different circles, it seems to like really stand out. And not that they don't deserve life just have a way of lifing. So today, good girls, good boys, or good young men, good young girls, come and sit and let's discuss. So we're in the book of Proverbs 18. And Proverbs 18 is asking, or is saying, why spare the wicked? And it says, it is not good to be partial with the wicked and so deprive the innocent of justice. And I sit here and ask myself, why be partial with the wicked? And for us at this state, the wicked are abusive, toxic, narcissistic partners. Maybe we should also talk about parents. However, those are the ones that we're dealing with. And then we end up being very partial, we deny those that have been abused, those have been, like left almost to death with no mouth and no one to really speak for them. I advise you guys sometimes get into court and family court, and you hear how a narcissistic human being will explain themselves. And interestingly, this book also says, the book of Proverbs 18, it also says that when you go to court and the first person speaks, the correct saying will be, in a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right until someone comes forward and cross-examines. So what happens is that you will find the narcissistic partner is the one who's there charged. The ones who maybe even who have taken you to court. It doesn't matter who has. But somehow they end up being the first ones to speak. Maybe also because they've put everything in order. Maybe that's also their personality, putting things in order and having facts, but they are not facts in reality, facts in their head. That on this day, Wanjiko did not, what can we say? Like we used the example for yesterday. On this day, Wanjiko brought a certain man in the house. And they're saying it with complete confidence. And the judge is going to believe because of the confidence. You remember we spoke about it. But then now, or now, what something that has become very, very common in our society, sadly, is that fathers have become, they're really defiling their children. They're really molesting their children. And it's really, really sad. But we are also to blame because we end up not speaking. And it's not that you're not speaking because you don't want to, it's because either there's fear, there's this that when a lawsuit goes in, the judge is going to believe the first person, even if they're the ones who are reported, because there are also cases where you find a woman has found out and has taken the man to court, but the system somehow is going to be compromised, and then now the mom is left stranded in terms of, okay, now I reported this guy, we don't know what else is capable of doing because the case has been somehow lost through the system and they're released. So when they come out, you don't know what they will do first to you and to the children. But now this one is more to the courts, our courts. I know the children's court, they're really trying. They're really trying. But when it comes to mashinani, what do we call them in English? When you come to the common mwananchi, or to those ones who are, I'm really literally looking for the words in my head. Those ones who are not well versed with the law, or they don't feel or think that they have a voice, then you find that they believe there's nothing much that they can do. And this is so, this has become extremely common because there's a time that there was a story on Tuko or LNN show of a parent, of a mom, let me now be more specific, of a mom who had come out to say that she was married to an abusive guy and had two daughters, and the guy was sexually abusing the two daughters. But then now in her statement, it was, even when she found out, she didn't feel like she had much of a say because the guy was wealthier or had more money compared to her. And this is just one out of the many that stay silent. However, it is not only the girls who are abused. You'll find the boys who are also sodomized by their fathers or even the mothers. I know that's a case that is rare, but is still there. And what will happen is that these people, because they are your children's caregivers, or this is supposed to be their safe place, even for you as a partner, it will shock you to the core that you will not, do I say, respond, react immediately. And this is why we have been told, why be lenient with this person? I remember a guy, I remember there's a person who was telling us about self-defense, and they were saying when you have been attacked, don't spare the person, like hit the point where pain will make them not think. Do that. And now because we're talking about this narcissistic, toxic, abusive partners, as Christians, nasionei Christians, I'm not being too much for Christians because I am one, is that we always have this thing of God is going to revenge for you, for me, or God will not want this or the other, so let me sit back and take it or suck it in, or pray until something has happened. And yes, we're supposed to pray until something has happened. However, this is why you have been given a brain, you have been given hands, you've been given everything that you require to first fight for yourself and save yourself. It's not that I'm taking away what we said yesterday about starting a quarrel, no. But it's if you have found yourself in this abusive place, abusive situation, you and your children, whether male or female, don't let it rest. Do not be lenient to the guilty. Because what will end up happening is, I will be silent. This person is going to go to another family and they will do worse. And then that person decides to be silent. And the chain just keeps going and going. And most of the times when you listen, like even if you go and listen, and I'll listen to that story again, this was not the first time or the first children that this guy had molested. There were others. But because of the silence, this person assumes that they are innocent and nothing can be done to them. The confidence is building. And they feel like they're above the law of the land. And because us being lenient, us as parents or as partners being staying low-key because we are thinking it's shameful, it's the father of the children, it's the mother of the children, I don't want society to see me in a certain way. Us being silent is giving a thumbs up to what they're doing. An example: if someone comes and takes your food when you're very hungry, are you going to be silent or are you going to react? Of course, naturally, because you're hungry, you're going to react. Even if you're weak, how? You will react. This is an exact same situation, and this one is bad. And just because it is being done in secret does not make it less chaotic, less shameful, or it gives you a right not to speak. Today, I tell you, it's not just about the courts. It's not just about the system. It's about you making noise, not to the partner, but out there. If it's the courts that you need to, we take even the example of the woman and the judge. She was not wealthy. She didn't have much to her name, but she kept going to the judge and going and going and going and never giving up. And if we take like the systems that we have today, it will be like where you go and you're turned away, where you go and you're told your file is lost, where you go and you're kicked out, where you go and no one even looks at you, where you go and you're told you need to give something little to so that things can move around, where you go and you're told, well, the case was dropped because you didn't have anything to give so that things can be moved along. But she kept moving, she kept going. And at the end, there was justice served for her. And that is not just a story. Because what I know, the minute you give an abuser, a narcissistic partner, a toxic partner, leeway to anything, even to your children, that they can demean them, that they can tell them something that used to be common when us we were growing, you're as foolish as your mother. So now, this child will not only believe that they are foolish, but they will also disrespect you and not have any value for you and not have any value if they're a girl for themselves, if they're a boy for any other woman in society. And you will find that such people are the ones who will be employed and have a problem because their boss or their leader is a woman. Because it started from the root, from the bottom. But now when you sit back and do nothing, and I'm not saying that you fight this person physically. No, I'm asking to the laws, to the court, to and not kangaroo courts are not, let me not sugarcoat, they don't work. They are not working and they are not doing much for children who've been molested, abused. No, they are not. Because still there's a compromise that happens in the system. Too bad. So now when you sit back and say, I'm not disputing, and God, I'm not even disputing you. It's true that God, what is done on earth shall still be repaid on earth. But you've been given a system. This is why Solomon was given wisdom, so that he can be able to even judge, so that he can be able to pass judgment. Like for the two women, one slept and killed their son, and then this other one wanted to come. Yani, that's like the best example. Human being, a toxic woman, that she will not even be moved because the child has died. I want both of us to lose, and with no emotions or feelings at all. So what's the lesson for today? Even if they go to the law courts and give their statement, and it might most probably be believed, can you also not take a step back? And I know it also, Proverbs 18 also tells us that the name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. Okay? So in all of these things of feeling and being taken advantage of, and someone taking you to the court, or you even reporting them, and then the systems are compromised, the Lord does not sleep. He will not. But also you do not sleep. Take the necessary steps. The Lord will guide you into the correct, the best system with. Be like the woman and the judge. She didn't give it a rest. So even if the nasty human being is one who's going to take you to court and has maybe even proof that is cooked up, coded somewhere, I don't know if that's a word, but even if they do that, trust you me, truth will come out. And don't be in a rush, but also do not withdraw. Get in there, fight. Do not be lenient to any person who's wicked. If this person is going to hurt you, please also fight for your children. Fight for the innocent ones. And these innocents are the ones that you're being told, do not deprive the innocent of their justice. Your children are your responsibility. So if you don't, you've not only failed you, but you've also failed these children. That is it from Proverbs 18 and from Wanjiko here on the date 18th March. We shall see you tomorrow. And kindly share and let me know what your opinions are. That's it from me. Ciao.